Hey, Lachlan, I want you to look into the camera and blink twice if your deal at YouTube was worth more than $10 million.
He's gonna.
Normally, we start this podcast a very specific way.
Yeah.
Okay. But shit is going crazy right now in 2020. It is 2:00 in the afternoon on June 26th. First and foremost, I want to welcome our just incredibly successful. This man has taken over the world, and some of you probably might not even know him. If you've been living under a rock, or you don't play Fortnite, or you don't play Minecraft, if you don't follow gaming on YouTube, then holy shit, man, you guys are missing out, because we got the one and only Lachlan on the podcast today.
What an intro. Thank you, Ned. No, it's good to be here. It's first podcast. Should be a lot of fun.
What?
Yes. So, Jack, while you were away, he told me that this is his first podcast ever.
Dude, that's actually insane.
Okay, now, really quickly, before we go any further, Lachlan, I want to give you the proper introduction, okay? So, Lachlan is a YouTube content creator and is one of the top 10 gaming channels in the entire world, with over 15 million subs across his channels. He is the 2020 Fortnite Summer Smash Pro-Am Tournament champion, a Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Award winner, and recently founded his own eSports apparel company, just like taking over the fucking industry. And it's the self-titled clothing line is called Power by Lachlan. And OCE, that's down under, Australia's premier esports team. Once again, that is Power. There's a lot of power with that team name. So, Lachlan, man, welcome, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us. It's a lot of stuff to talk about.
You came on at the right time, brother.
Most times in these episodes, we do these deep dives into our guest pass, and we definitely will in this one. But there is so much going on with just right now in your life in regards to Power, the new launch of the new Fortnite season. Where YouTube is right now as a space, but then also in the greater gaming space in general, there has never in our history of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show in the last over a year now that we've been doing this show, there has never been more that we could talk about, not relating to the most prominent things with you. And I know we all have thoughts and things to go into there. So the big thing breaking right now, which we might as well just get right into it, is DrDisrespect has been banned from Twitch. That has broken in the last 45 minutes.
Permanently banned.
Yeah, and the only sources we have right now to it is Slasher, who's tweeted about it and said that his sources have said it's a permanent ban and have also said it's not a DMCA ban. And then, as of right now, reading just from being on Twitter, which I might have, I might be referencing my monitor here a little bit left and right, but Jericho Tucker, who has been obviously in this industry for so long, retweeted another member of the community, Shannon Z Killer, that said, from my own sources, and again, none of these are confirmed, but these are from people that are respected in the industry, who have connections in the industry, said, Doc is indeed done, not just on Twitch. I know why and cannot say, but this is serious, which is just insane. And
oh man,
I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it, and I don't believe it. Like, how can you be done on just not on just Twitch? That's the part that that goes deep. If it's every platform that you're done,
it sounds like to me that there's legal implications here that we haven't seen, right? Because
100%, yeah.
If Twitch is going to take a stance, first and foremost, to permanently ban one of their creators that they just signed to an exclusivity deal, probably worth millions and millions of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars, and say, hey, he's not streaming here no more. It's done. And then you have a few people. Look, man, it's all speculation right now. So allegedly, DrDisrespect is done. That is the word that people are using. And I don't think anybody understands how much weight that actually carries with it. Just because Doc, he's like a global icon. And that is not, I'm not taking that lightly. He is a global icon. Like, even if you don't know what gaming is or follow gaming that deeply, you probably have heard of DrDisrespect or seen him in some capacity or another.
I mean, this man's been on Jimmy Kimmel, NBA Finals, like the whole third row back. every time. I mean, I consider Doc a friend in the times that we've played together, and in the moments we've had where we've chatted. He's helped me in major ways in my career. We've had great gaming sessions together. We broke his record for his triple threat challenge, but to see this, obviously as a friend, the first thing you hear is feels like, holy shit, I would never want that to happen to anybody. But now we have to wait and hear what exactly it is, and all we can do is then hear what's going on and get the full story, and then you have to be kind of your own judge there. I mean, it's terrifying to see right now. I mean, this is just nuts. If this is true, this is the biggest creator out there to this extent. I mean, there's been some huge YouTubers with allegations against them, but the biggest Twitch creator by far that could be taken down from this.
Lachlan, you've been here in the gaming industry in this space, just as long as Jack and I, maybe even longer. I mean,
I don't know. Wait, when did you guys start popping YouTube? I'm 7 years, 2013.
I was 2010, but I wasn't taking YouTube as serious as I was in 2013. So I would say
Gotcha.
2012.
Were you uploading or Machinima Respawn partner era, or because I consider them the goats, the Hutch, the C9ers, the OG.
I was uploading sniper montages with Predator on Optic.
Okay, that's as far as I'm concerned, that's OG. That's what I think of. Optic Hex, kill cams and stuff. Dude, that was the goat shit right there.
Don't let Hector see this. Don't let Hector see this.
So do you think that, with that experience and being around as long as you have, I would just love to hear your thoughts and opinions on, potentially what you think could have caused this, and just everything that's happening in the industry right now. Obviously, there's terrible stories coming out from the Me Too movement. And girls being taken advantage of at a ton of different industry parties and events. And it just seems like the community is in turmoil right now. And look, man, I know you have a really big spotlight on yourself, so I don't need you to go deep down and dissect everything that's happening. Just blanket thoughts on these crazy last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been nuts. Even people that you've made videos with, a couple people I've made vids with, just getting exposed and stuff like that. It just feels weird. All the boys in DMs are just geez, this is all happening so fast, so quick. And a lot of it is Twitch. I think almost all of it, apart from one or two cases, is Twitch streamers, which is I don't have a lot of relation with Twitch streamers. Jack, probably more so in the Twitch kind of vibes, because you
back from both sides for sure. Yeah.
So I've don't really go to Twitch parties. Don't really go to never been to a TwitchCon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's interesting to see. Did you see the what was it? The Angry Joe one?
Yeah, and how he basically from what I've seen, there was an accusation against Angry Joe. Yeah. He completely shot it down. Yeah. Provided proof of that it wasn't real, and basically said, my lawyers have sent out a cease and desist. That's all I can comment now. And now the if I'm not mistaken, all those accusations and things have been rescinded or it wasn't true.
Rescinded, that's a big word.
Thank you. I'm really trying to up myself here, man. I'm trying to be better. But yeah, so that's an example of what's scary is these women and men and women, because there have been on both sides now, have come forward with these terrible things that have happened to them. But some people have shown their support for them, are so proud of them for speaking out, doing what's best for them. But the scary thing that has been talked about is you have these couple cases where there are these people who do it in a malicious way, with no backing of it, and try to, someone with nothing to lose tries to take down someone with everything to lose. And so far, a couple of these cases where that has happened, the real victims and these people that have been, sexually assaulted or taken advantage of in these ways that have really experienced these traumatic events, it hurts their ability to come out and say these things and makes people more skeptical when they're telling their truthful side. Yeah. But then also, these people who do this, going back to the with nothing to lose side, there's now been a couple of cases where people say these things, do these things, and then take back everything they said, and then they all just kind of disappear and walk away. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's someone who's got millions of fans and are working with these blue chip sponsors and these big names and have all these people watching them that, you know, that the damage kind of is already done. These people just go away, and then still, you know, how you can't go out there with a magic wand and do a, you know, Men in Black where you reset their memory of what they've heard and been like, no, listen.
Yeah, the opinion's already been made.
Exactly. You know? And some people might not heard the second side that it's been, some people might not hear the second side that it wasn't true.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah. And then it's the first one, and then that's all they go off.
So I've been trying to, because I want to, you know, obviously you want to keep up with it and see what's going on and everything. And it's insane. But what's nuts is, and even just, I just read through our document where, again, we're talking about all your accomplishments, Lachlan, but I scrolled to like the news of the week, and so much shit is happening that you're trying to keeping track of that. I literally forgot Mixer shut down 2 days ago.
That's it, right? Was that 2 days ago?
Or 3 days, whenever it was. I literally forgot Mixer is just shutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I know the second we got on the call, you had mentioned, Lachlan, that was something that you were, you know, expecting to talk about, which is just another huge thing is.
Well, that's where I would point the question to you, Lachlan, right? Because obviously you've had just a wild amount of success on YouTube. And I don't think I've ever seen you dabble in streaming on any other platform. You know, you mentioned that you've never been to a TwitchCon and you don't know Twitch community very well. But did I make this up in my own head that you signed an exclusivity deal with YouTube?
Yeah, no, I did. I did sign an exclusivity deal with YouTube like end of last year. Yeah.
Go boy.
Last year. Yeah, with my boy CouRage.
Hell yeah.
YouTube gang. Go hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I've been streaming since I've been 7 months, 8 months deep into streaming. Like I always wanted to do it, but it was just a case of trying to do daily videos on like Fortnite. Plus streaming was always so hard. And so since like streaming, I've pretty much gone and dialed it back to like video every 2 days, 3 days, and then streaming in between. And I actually like that balance. Play more of the game and just interact with people is always fun.
I mean, dude, your stuff, anything you create always it just crushes, man.
This leads me to my next question, right? Because
y'all are glitch.
Lachlan has so much success, and from my standpoint, let me explain to you guys my perception of Lachlan's career. So I think I met him for the first time ever in Minecraft, and that was when I was dabbling in between series with Vicstar, TBNR Frags, who you guys know as Press and Plays. You know, you guys were the kings of Minecraft, and I always feel fortunate enough that you guys let me come and play with you guys on your different servers. And
I was fun as like Crazy Craft and stuff. I was like remembering that the other day. We recorded like a Crazy Craft video, like like 5 years ago or something. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Now I will say it's like when I think of Preston, like Preston has a ton of success, right? But when I think about my success, I know that I could have never reached the level that Preston did because I just can't do the family-friendly programming that he does, and I give him a lot of credit for that. And if I'm not mistaken, again, so your content is somewhat tailored towards younger kids, right? I know that you swear from time to time, right?
Yeah, it's so like when I used to do the Minecraft stuff, it like got to a point where I was doing that family-friendly stuff, you know, trying not like I never swore in all my videos because I knew my age demographic was, you know, quite young. But ever since around like Pokemon Go, Fortnite era, I kind of just, instead of like censoring live, like never swearing, because like forcing a never swear, especially as an Australian, it's like kind of our culture to swear. Like it's actually a thing. So funny. I was like casting my cup the other day for OCE, and I'm just watching every stream, and it's just C-bomb, 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 C-bomb. No. I'm just like,
the Aussies.
It is what it is. Like,
it is what it is.
If Nick A30 tries to cast a Fortnite Cup in Australia, he's over. Like, you gotta meet the whole stream.
Oh, he's gonna get torn apart.
Like, straight up. But so instead of like never swearing, which I feel like changed me in the way I recorded, I swear, but I cut it out in post. Like every video on my channel, like probably 99%, no swearing, but live streams, it is what it is. Like
it is what it is. And that's my point. Like, dude, you're a grown ass man. And I know that people have been creating content, not just on the internet, but in traditional media for decades and decades and decades for a younger demographic. And I give a lot of credit to Preston because For the most part, that's who he is, like truly. But I know, when you're in your mid 20s, there's no way, like down to the each word he says that can be completely authentic. Like, there's no way you don't want to rip like a F-bomb or a B.
Just like hold it in. It's not authentic. That's exactly it. It's not authentic.
But this is what I love about you is that you swear from time to time on live stream. You did a good job of cutting it out in your traditional content. But from what I've seen, this is just your true self. And now you're filthy fucking rich. And I know you won't say it. I know you won't say it, but I'll say it for you guys. I mean, you guys can probably understand and can't even fathom how much money he's probably made. He's top 10 gaming creator on YouTube, and he has taken over communities like Minecraft and Fortnite to ride those waves as well as he has. Dude, you got to be rolling in him. Like, you have to be so rich. Tell me how it feels to wake up every morning knowing that you are more successful than
all of us combined.
All of us. Yeah, tell me. I want to know.
I never even think it sounds so cliche, but I never even think of it like that. It's just like I just get up, and as long as I can get a good Fortnite vid, I don't really care. Like,
you're in that grind. You're in that grind mode. I get you.
Yeah, I've been grind mode since Fortnite came out. Maybe I took a break season X, season 9, kind of in a way where I tailed back the content a little bit. But as far as money things, I don't bought my house, bought a car 5 years ago. I haven't bought anything since.
You don't have any other car besides that Tesla you bought?
No, I bought that 3 years ago.
So what'd you buy 5 years ago?
I had a 6 years ago. I had a Mazda 3.
Oh, okay.
Mazda 3.
Mazda 3.
You thought it was something bigger.
little upgrade.
Yo,
we got it, man. I was like Maserati.
No. You know, it's funny. I always wanted to get a Ferrari, a Lamborghini when I was first grinding. It was Ferrari, Lamborghini, get the flex. But in Australia, they have a law where if you have your P plates, which is your learners, then you get your provisional plates, and then you get your full license. You can't drive a V8 or a fast car with your provisional plates. So, and you had to wait 2 years on it. So I was I could afford it and I wanted to, and I couldn't because I couldn't legally drive it in Australia. Yeah. So I didn't do it. By the time I could legally drive it, I was I don't even want it anymore. So, and big up Australian government. I would just had a depreciating asset just sitting there. Cause in the end, what's a Lamborghini or a Ferrari at the end of the day? It's just I never drive. It's not really.
I'll tell you what, a Lamborghini or Ferrari is exactly what it says and sounds like. It's a Lamborghini and Ferrari, bro.
But it's not I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends on your priorities. You're a good man. It sounds like you understand how to manage your finances pretty well, and we're going to talk more about this. But we have to give a big shout out to another financial service that is near and dear to our heart here at 100 Thieves. One of our presenting sponsors, the CouRage and Nadeshot Show, and one of our biggest supporters, Cash App. And if you don't use Cash App by now, then fuck you. See, if you're following Cash App on Twitch, you are missing out on a lot of opportunities to get free cash. Cash App hosts free cash giveaways all the time on their Twitch channel. Be sure to stay up to date when they go live to see great content around gaming and free cash. You may even see some of your favorite 100 Thieves creators up there. Twitch.tv/Cash App is where it's at. Finally, I would like to say that we are stoked to be working with Cash App to support the Gamers Outreach Foundation. When you sign up for Cash App using the promo code THIEVES, THIEVES, for any of you who don't know how to spell thieves, not only will you receive $10, but Cash App will also donate $10 to the Gamers Outreach, which is an organization that provides video games to kids dealing with long-term treatments in hospitals. We've done this episode and this shout out multiple times, guys. If you haven't downloaded Cash App by now, you hate money and you also hate sick kids in hospitals, because not only will they give you $10 for free, but they're also going to support video games being supplied and presented to young kids in hospitals that are dealing with long-term treatment. So go download the app and use our code, and let's do something for yourself and for the kids.
And you know what you can do with the $10 you get?
What?
You can use it to buy Chipotle. Chipotle is my favorite place to eat in the entire world, and Matt eats there every single day to the point where he might have set a world record by now. We actually should look into that, Matt.
I just ate my burrito bowl and I'm about to eat these steak tacos. No
yeah,
cap.
We literally were 2 minutes starting.
And the tacos. Damn.
Hey, bro, I'm trying to get some sustenance. You know what I mean?
He's a growing boy. He's a growing boy. But guys, Chipotle has the Chipotle Challenger Series coming up. I'll be playing in the finale. with Nadeshot as well. He'll be competing on July 16th. Also there, some people you might have heard of: Offset, Dylan Francis, Tim the Tat Man, Smell Funny, Baker Mayfield. He plays baseball and more. You won't want to miss it. So tune in at twitch.tv/.
But if you guys do watch it, just make sure, if you try to compete in it, because there's a qualifier going on right now, don't even do it, because I'm winning that thing. All right?
No. What? Do the qualifier.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Do the qualifier.
We need people like do play.
Yeah. Get involved in the qualifier. Do it, and then get your ass beat by us. That's
absolutely. All right, now back to Lachlan. The star of the show here today. So obviously, I was giving you a hard time and talking about how well you've done for yourself and the success that you have, and in my mind, you've followed like a trend. There's a lot of YouTubers that have found success that are extremely grounded and really understand. They pulled themselves up by the bootstraps and turned themselves into something, and they didn't lose touch of who they were before. So my question for you, after having all this success, how has your life changed? Have your relationships changed with your friends that you might have grown up with your family, with partners that you might have or have had in the past or might have in the future? What do you think that this foundation that you've given yourself for success in the future, how has that affected your life?
Jeez, that's a deep one there. As far as friends go, like still hang out with all my mates in Australia.
Mates, yes.
Like high school mates, like we're still all chilling. They all play like Warzone and stuff, so hang out and play with them. I don't know. Like, it's been so weird, like the last 6 months as well with like COVID, because normally every year I'm traveling, and that's been the hardest part. Like just traveling a lot and like not hanging out with my like friends and family back at home, because I'm just always zipping back and forth. Like I think I spent like 4 or 5 months in Toronto last year, mainly because my girlfriend lives in Toronto. So,
Jesus, you guys really figured out a way to
make long
Australia to Toronto.
Hey, and guess what? Canada border shut. Australia border shut. Like it's not a great vibe.
Shut.
Is that why you guys went to Japan, or did you just go to Japan?
No, well, Japan. She got a job, and I always wanted to like live in Japan, so I did that for 2 months. And that it was meant to be 3. Then COVID started like popping up, and I was like, I don't know. I just saw like coronavirus and COVID popping. I'm like, all right, this sounds kind of legit. Like, I kind of want to dip like from Asia right now, because like Japan,
I don't blame you.
China, not far away. Osaka airport, like pretty big hub travel for China. I'm like, yeah, I think we might want to leave, cut this trip a little early, and then went back to Australia, and that's another thing I want to talk about with you guys. Like, how's COVID over there? Like, it's chill over here.
Today was the worst day in our history.
I keep seeing. I don't know. Like, I'm talking California specifically. I keep seeing like Texas, I think, like shut down.
So LA County yesterday was the highest in the nation, but now I think Florida took the cake today. So we're basically having like a back and forth boxing match. It's not great. I think just go ahead, Jack.
No. I will say this. I think I've seen a lot of people in LA do a really good job of wearing masks. I think a lot of the fault in LA is just how densely populated it is and how many people live here. But I think LA does a pretty solid job overall compared to most places in regards to mask wearing. Same with just like the major cities in general. But yeah, because of how many people we have, it's like once it sparks up, it's like unless you're taking every single precaution, it's kind of scary.
The biggest issue with COVID in the United States, Lachlan, is that people don't have pride in their neighbors, and they don't have pride in the way they treat other people, right? So there's so many lunatics that are outside not wearing masks and not taking this serious, because most people in the USA don't give a fuck about the person standing to the left or right. And in my mind, that's the biggest issue. And obviously that is a very generalized statement. But I just think in certain states, like where I grew up in Chicago, you knew who your neighbors were. Every single person on your street, you knew that family or you knew that individual. But out here in LA, there are communities that are very tight knit and close. One of the neighborhoods we're living in right now is very much so. But I walk down the street and wave, and I don't get a wave back, and I don't know my neighbors. And so in my mind, I just think that a lot of people are self-centered around themselves and their friends and their family, but nobody else. And so there's just been a big uproar about wearing masks in the US. People don't want to do it. We were quarantined for 2 months now. Nobody wants to finish it. It's just, I think it's like a cultural issue in the US more than anything. Now, and just to be clear, I know I talked a lot. Just to be clear, I'm proud of the country that I live in, and I'm glad I'm here. But I just think that there's a certain demographic of age groups that don't respect COVID and the ramifications that it can happen because they're in an age group where it most likely won't affect them long term.
Yeah. I think the other thing too with it, as a quick note, is that I also think it's really bad that this sparked off in a presidential election year, which is also bad because it's definitely being used as a political tool, which is really unfortunate. So, listen,
you guys got presidents in Australia. How's that work?
Well, didn't you guys just have a whole drama with yours with the fires you guys had where your guys' prime minister went to go take like a vacation or something? I remember that was the whole big drama that happened. I remember reading about that.
The start of 2020.
Yeah, that was the first.
We're like Canada, like under the Queen, right? So prime minister, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really follow politics like real crazy. My dad is actually a politician.
There you go.
And so like, on the basis of that, like grew up with him my whole life. He's been like councillor. He's now like the mayor of like my local city. And I just, growing up with it, I straight zero, like no politics. I just can't do it. Like, it's just so toxic. Like just growing up with it my whole life because he's been doing it 25 years. You just hear the ins and outs of it. It's just like, I don't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. Like that's why Twitter feed, you'll never see me ever post anything political, even the slightest, because I just don't want to touch it. Like, it's just...
I hear that.
And like, global politics is a whole nother, like... Yeah.
It's a lot. Wait, Matt, can I ask him a quick question about his Japan trip? Because
and then I have one too.
Okay, well, good. Well, Lachlan, you went to Japan. I went to Japan last year. I loved my time there.
Best country going for a visit, like...
Would you recommend Matt going and visiting Japan? Matt,
you have to.
Matt is like super into anime, super into...
Yeah, you love Dragon Ball, right? I love Dragon Ball.
I love Dragon Ball and a ton of other animes, but yes, I do love Dragon Ball.
Yeah, like it's bucket list material, I'd say.
Wow.
Like you have to go and see it. Like the culture, the food, people, like it's just so good.
Where did you wind up staying when you went?
Osaka. So I'd never been to Osaka before. A lot less English than Kyoto or Tokyo. So
we did one night. I did one night in Osaka.
Yeah.
When I went, which I thought it was like, I thought of Osaka as kind of like when we got off the bullet train there, it really reminded me much more of like a American, and it was like an American city got placed in Japan, where like Tokyo for me was like the future. Kyoto was like the past, and then Osaka was like a modern day US city got planted in Japan, and then there was all the Japanese culture and influence that got put into it. That's kind of what I felt when I was in Osaka. I will say I didn't get enough time there though. I definitely want to go back.
One day, not enough. It's way so too short. Big. Kyoto though, Kyoto is like beautiful.
Oh,
like,
dude, it's stunning.
Did you get like when cherry blossoms were going off? Or
yeah, I went. We didn't go when the cherry blossoms were going off. I'm just letting Maddie know. Maddie, they can see you in the background, by the way.
I was gonna say, what if she just all of a sudden like went to go squat down in the pot?
She literally needed to know my phone or something.
Well, this gives a great. So I would love to hear more about Japan from either of you, just because I know how much fun both of you had, but I just feel like there are so many relevant topics to talk about right now. But really quickly, I want to get a history lesson from you, Lachlan, because if I remember correctly, and I want you to fact check me here, you were crushing on Minecraft, right? And then there was a lull for a lot of Minecraft creators where the viewership wasn't as high. And then obviously years down the road, Minecraft viewership actually spiked and rose again.
Yeah,
but
it's weird.
In between Minecraft and Fortnite, how did you spend your time mostly?
Pokemon Go.
Okay, that's what it was, dude. I was thinking about our podcast and I was like, what happened in between? I know it's something. Pokemon Go, dude. Do you miss it? Do you still play it?
I miss like going out and like just like, because what I did for like 2 months during that like lull of Minecraft, I like first video, because we got Pokemon Go first in Australia. So as soon as it came out, went outside at like midnight with one of my mates, caught Charmander, did all that, like banged hard, got like woke up to like 1 million views, and I was getting like 100K views maybe at the time. So I was like, all right, bet we dropping everything. We doing Pokemon Go every day, because I like enjoyed it like so much. Like one of the first videos I uploaded on my channel was Minecraft and Pokemon, like the mod for it. So like Pokemon's like been a big part of like all my gaming years, like the kid, Game Boy, all that stuff, the Pokemon cards and stuff. So traveled around the world, catching all the Pokemon, caught them all. Niantic never updated the game, and hard rip. Just kind of threw that one to the side. And then Fortnite came out, and that was the nail in the coffin.
That was it.
Yeah.
Did you play from day one?
Sorry?
Fortnite? Did you play from day one of Fortnite?
Oh, like a couple weeks out. Like Elliot Muselk got me on it at the time. He did like a brand deal for like their Save the World.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that was right around when they launched it. But as far as like other stuff from Pokemon Go, I was experimenting a lot. I feel like YouTube, I feel like for a lot of YouTube, like a good formula to have is just to experiment until you find something and then just double down on it. And that's kind of like what I've done. Like Minecraft, find something, experiment. You know, you'll find something will hit, double down on it, and then you write it out. Well, I don't want to say write it out. Obviously, I need to enjoy it. Like what was it? There was something else that was like a Minecraft mod I was doing that's getting a lot of like Crazy Craft is getting so many views. I hated doing it at the end, so I just stopped it. Like after episode 100, you're like, okay, I think I've done everything twice. So that's why like I really commend these like new Minecraft content creators that are like popping up on my trending. They're just building bigger and bigger houses, but they're getting like insane views.
bigger and bigger
like,
houses.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I'm playing Minecraft next week.
They got a new Nether update, didn't they?
That's what I want to go try, and I'm at a point now where I'm just kind of really annoyed with the skill-based matchmaking in Warzone, the lack of updates there. Fortnite, I do still enjoy it, but from an NA content creator side, there really isn't many people to play with.
Why is that? My boy Cypher needs someone to play with.
I mean, I love game with Cypher, but at the same time, like, what I need to also overhaul with my channel is I need to begin to put more thoughts into my videos and begin to really craft them out like what you guys do and how, you know, well thought out they are and how much effort you put into them. So much of my channel is still just my best stream moments re-uploaded or re-edited out or a moment here or there. But it's just because I put so much time into me streaming, you know, like 120 plus hours a month. So
is that how many you're putting up? Jeez.
I mean, the last few have been like 100, which is low compared to other platforms for a lot of people. But for my YouTube channel, the last 3 have been like 125. I did like 150 in I think it was April because of Warzone. How much fun Warzone was. So I just need to start putting more thought into my actual uploads and like take more notes from you guys, because you guys were such a big help with me transitioning to YouTube. I remember being at the YouTube summit together and all of us were like, oh shit, we about to do all these announcements. This is crazy. So, you know, it's funny. Like I've talked to you guys, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, about best practices. I know like Muselk and Lazarbeam have spoken to me about best practices for like gaining members, because I have like a pretty strong membership base on YouTube still with just the $5 tier. So I've given them tips on that and how to drive that membership up and what to do. So it's been really interesting learning streaming on YouTube with you guys. And I know, I'm sure of a lot of the updates they have coming, which are really exciting, but I need to learn from you guys still way more about the video side of things, bro. I need to come move there, and now I need to become Fresh's protege, like how Fresh was, your guys' protege, and how you guys have all been each other's. That's what I need. I need to become like the one that becomes the master one day.
Lachlan, let me ask you this, man. Obviously, with so much focus on YouTube, you've spent you just invested so many man hours into creating daily content, and I know how big of a grind that is. And I know the motivation behind starting 100 Thieves for me was to work on something that was bigger than myself, and something that the day-to-day operations and the day-to-day investment that you make in your workflow was important, but really, you have to understand that it wasn't going to be something that was instantly gratifying. It was something that was going to take months and months and years of hard work. So that was my motivation. And obviously at the beginning we touched on Power. This was an apparel brand that you've had from the start, or not the start, but you announced a few years back, and you can give me the specifics on that, but now has recently transitioned to also being an esports organization. So first, I want to say congratulations. Obviously a huge step for you and the Oceanic, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Oceanic esports scene.
Yeah, I still don't know if it's Oceania or Oceana, but I just say OCE, play it safe.
Yeah, well, either way, congratulations, man. And to be honest with you, just as a fan of yours and a fan of your career, I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's like two main like motivational points for doing it. And I think one of what you said is like building something bigger than yourself, building a brand. Like YouTube isn't forever. It's something, Power is definitely something I want to see as like a long-term, I guess, project. And the other side of it is just like OCE esports. Like, what is that? It is nothing. Because of like Australia's bad infrastructure for like internet and just the ping, we don't compete with anyone in the world. Like Fortnite World Cup, OCE got, I think I want to get it right. There was 3 duos. So yeah, 3 duos out of the 50, I think. 3 duos out of the 50 duos for the Duo World Cup. And then I think we got maybe 4 or 5 for the solos. They don't give us any spots. And so when the OCE pros play the World Cup qualifiers, there's 1 spot for the solo, and you've got to be on that day the best in the region. And that is so like tall of an ask because there's so many amazing players that just don't get seen because, you know, they might have something unfortunate happen. And just trying to enable like OCE pros, like our plan is to pretty much take as many of like our roster that we'll have at that time, because I think they delayed it to 2021. Yeah, because of obviously COVID. I realistically, like I've been planning this for like the last 6 months, and as we dropped our announcement, we wanted to take everyone to NA. Can't, because like COVID, which is quite unfortunate. We're still trying to look around ways to like go to Europe or something. But just giving them a fair shot, taking them to NA, seeing what they can do, and proving them there, I think is going to be a really fun thing to look forward to. But just mainly propping up OCE.
Yeah, because even as you talk about this right now,
man, I love it.
Like the big thing that is being talked about right now, it's actually the #1 post on Fortnite competitive. Because first off, congratulations, you had your Lachlan Cup in game this week, which is awesome. $10,000 prize pool, right? Which is
I know the post we're talking about. I saw it just then.
Yeah. So actually, the breakdown from it, which I want to hear your opinion on this, because you're one of the faces of the Oceanic region, is there was 200 trios that qualified for the Lachlan Cup. 62 of the trios were from Asia. 24 were from North America West. 8 were from NA East and EU. So of all the teams, 47% of the qualified trios were not from the Oceanic region for an Oceanic hosted and pinged event. Yeah. Does that disappoint you? Do you think it's just like, oh, it was just this first time around, because obviously a lot of people got excited for this event. It's with your big name on it in Fortnite. A lot of people from around the world were playing, but to have almost 50% not be from Oceanic for an Oceanic tournament, it seems like some people are like, guys, what are you guys doing? You guys want more? You guys got to show up and pop off on these.
Yeah, Lachlan, I'm gonna let you go really quickly, guys. I got to pee so bad, so just carry on, and I'll jump back in. I'm sorry.
You gotcha. No, just with like that post in particular. I think we had. I saw the Fortnite tracker. There was 7,000 trios who played in it. So big pool, and again, half of them not even being from OCE. And Asia and OCE are kind of like in it together with like World Cup and stuff like that. We get the same amount of spots as them, which is like 1 every week. I think we get the same division of the international prize pool, which is 5%. So when Fortnite's like, hey, we're doing a $1 million tournament internationally, we get 50K, Asia gets 50K. And then you split it down, and first place might walk away with like a cheeky bag, but man, is he working for that bag? Like, it ain't easy to come up on top for OCE. So like the Asian one, I'm not too like, I see that because a lot of like Asia's got a problem in itself where I think it's still the case. The only server for the competitive is in Japan, but you got people from Thailand. I think India play on that server too, or that or Middle East. And Korea being the big one, which is a probably one of the bigger reasons why Fortnite struggled like competitively internationally in like those markets, because their server infrastructure was so weird. It's like you're going to host the World Cup and you're going to call it the Asia region. The only server is in Tokyo. So if you're not in Tokyo, you're playing like most Asia players that qualify play with like 50, 60, 80 ping. And their play style has adapted to like take into account that high ping. So when I see them qualifying for my Trio Cup, I'm like, yeah, fair. Like they are the veterans of like playing on bad ping.
Yeah.
The NA ones there. I think there was an EU. Like I want to see the gameplay of the EU Trio.
Bro, they must just get set up and get and have some things go their way, huh?
And it is easier for team game modes. Like solos, if you're doing that, like shit, dude. Like we gotta like give you a bag or something, because that's an accomplishment.
That's impressive in and of itself. Yeah, I saw like people were commenting about, you know, Fresh is probably up there because you guys have had competitions of you and your duo. I think you played with Radius at times, and then against like Lazarbeam and Fresh as a duo, and you guys are always figuring out new ways to kind of keep stream entertained for those like cash cups back when it was duos. Who, in your opinion, if you had to rank Fresh, Lazarbeam, Muselk, yourself, where do you guys stack up in skill level? What is it from top to bottom? Who is the best and who is the worst?
How about I just do like the whole region in a nutshell there?
Oh, sure.
I mean, out of that list, it's Fresh and it's not even close.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Radius on that list too, because then probably like hit or miss there. But like OC's probably best player right now is probably a player we signed called Worthy.
Okay.
Now he actually plays in Western Australia, which means he the competitive servers are in Sydney, so he's playing with 50, 60 ping, and he just takes walls and has the most nuts aim. And so I think getting him to NA is going to be really interesting. He won that daily duo cash cup, I think, more times than anyone else, and just like convincingly. Like it wasn't even close most times.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a name to look out for sure.
All right. So what you're saying is you'd beat Lazarbeam and Muselk 1-on-1.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, actually, in the FNCS, I killed Elliot too. It was actually jokes ass on stream.
That's hysterical. Oh, that's too funny.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity because obviously Muselk and Lazarbeam are both YouTube creators, right?
YouTube gang, signed exclusively as well.
And we talked about your exclusivity deal a little bit. Now, me as somebody who's had his finger on the pulse in the industry for a pretty long time, you know, I'd be confident in saying, you know, as I joked about earlier, they probably paid you a lot of money to do that, right? Now, Ninja and Shroud also got paid a lot of money. So before we even talk about the things that have transpired over the last week with Ninja, Mixer, Shroud, I want to ask you first and foremost, were you approached by any other platforms for an exclusivity deal?
I was not by Mixer there. Rip. I wish I was.
Was it Facebook?
I just want to say, like, on that note as well, like, I think like that dub that Ninja took over that deal, I think I don't think we'll see someone match that in like our kind of like content creator, video gamer. Like,
Never.
I don't think we'll see anything close to that dub in the next 5 or 10 years. Like
insane.
Like, I don't think anyone's walking away with 30 million a year for a long time. Like, that is the bar, and no one's going to touch that for a hot minute. Because that is
absolutely,
just, like,
I completely agree.
Like, that's why, like, a lot of people on social media, like, will buzz about it. And it's going to be interesting. Like, Ninja, I don't know if you guys maybe even might have some inside information, but do you know if he's going YouTube or Twitch next?
What did you like?
Don't know. I haven't talked to Tyler, but
what did you say, CouRage?
No, I said, what did you like to know? I said, no, I genuinely have no clue. I don't know.
I think he'll absolutely go to Twitch. And the only reason why I say that is because, you know, his YouTube audience has definitely fluctuated over, you know, when he was at his highest peak until now. And, you know, he still crushes, but it's just different. It's different than it was. Although, like I said, he is still doing well. I think as someone who was in his shoes prior, obviously not to the magnitude that he was with Mixer and the deal that he got, but back in the day with MLG TV, I could still upload to YouTube and that was fine. I didn't see YouTube as a platform. Now, unless they offer him like an egregious deal that I can't foresee, I think he'll absolutely go back to Twitch just because That is where he made his nut. That's where he had the most engagement. That's where everything really stemmed from and was born. I just think if I were him, and I was, like I said, I felt it before, he probably just misses the Twitch community. He misses the engagement, misses the chat, misses everything about it.
I mean, hell, this man left for almost a year. And when you go to, I'm trying to load the most followed channels on Twitch, but I think he's still
number one.
Most followed. No, not only is he most followed, he's number one, but by 6.2 million followers. So he is the most followed.
He's gonna get back to Twitch. What are you kidding?
But then if you took away the amount of difference between him and Tfue, which is 6.2 million, that following would put him at 5th overall. So you could literally take his channel, make a second channel, delete those followers, and he'd be 1st and 5th in following on Twitch, which is just ridiculous. So
that's insane.
Listen, if he goes to Twitch, it'll be great for him. If he goes to YouTube, it'll be great for him. I think the big thing is this. I wonder if there is still the financial offerings of, I don't think it'll be of that magnitude, but there's been discussion of YouTube and Twitch now, or making these decisions or making these offers. Like, I just don't know how much money gets offered after this is now said and done of hey, come stream on our platform versus streaming on theirs. Like, I think he would pop off no matter where he went, YouTube or Twitch. I think it'll be great for him.
Yeah. Oh. And I still, and like the other part of it is like turning down Facebook for like what was apparently rumored to be like 60 mil. Like,
if I get $60 million, I'm not acting like I know either of you guys. That's it.
I'm about to blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
Right? Seriously, what's your guys' names again? Like, never heard of you guys before, bro.
Hey, Lachlan, I want you to look into the camera and blink twice if your deal at YouTube was worth more than $10 million.
He's covering his face.
I'm chilling, but
if you were told right now, if you were told,
I had to try, bro. I had to try. You can't hate me for trying.
Hey, right
now, no one could judge you, Lachlan. You can, with the success you've had, because I think life is too short. You got to treat yourself some ways. Once family's taken care of, you got the house, this, that. What is something that you'd be like, you know what, you'd love to buy for yourself right now, or do, or experience? Like, what would be like your thing that if you could just do it and think nothing of it, you would just love to experience it? Like, I plan on buying my dream car. Like, what would be your thing?
He wants to buy his best friend Nadeshot an automobile, is what he had told me previously. But we'll see if his answer changes.
Shit.
Like, the honest answer to that is like just investing in power. Like, it's something that I've really wanted to do for a long time, and just the way I look at it is I'd invest the same amount of like money I would say a Lamborghini. I feel like I'd get way more like just out of it. In a sense, like, I watch competitive Fortnite. Like, I'm like ride or die Fortnite. Like, that's another thing I didn't really touch on. Like, Fortnite dies, I think I'm gonna throw up the white flag, and I'm just gonna ride it like forever, because I love the game so much. And God forbid, there probably might be another game in the next 5 years, because when Minecraft was popping, I loved Minecraft so much, and I was thinking the same thing. But just I consume everything Fortnite related. Like, the creative thing, I'm always seeing like what maps being made competitively. I watch every stream of every region. I love watching it. And then my biggest problem was not having anyone to go for. I watch and I'd be like, that's a sick clip. I don't really care who wins. Now I'm like, let's go, boys. Let's get this dub. So like that's probably like my big thing. I mean, just getting like a cool apartment in the city, I guess, is something I might do in the next couple of years.
Would you ever come spend some time in the US or no? Like, let's say coronavirus was done, you could come hang out with your boys here in LA. We go have some nice weekends out.
Dude,
hey, bro, we'll get you fucked up. Let's go.
You're not sold on LA?
Okay. Like,
okay.
I don't know, man. It's just it's such a weird, like, and what Nate was talking about before about like your neighbors and stuff. Like, I felt that like in person with other like people. Like, it's just such a different vibe going from like Australian people to American people. It's very to themselves more in America, I feel like, and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I could do Canada though. Like, Canada and Australia and the UK, I feel like old queen. So
hey, I've been to Toronto twice, and I love Toronto each time I've been. So
yeah, like,
man, America really ain't the greatest country in the world, huh? from other people's perspectives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
To be clear, I love America. I really do. I'm grateful to be here. I pay my taxes. I just,
I love to visit, have a great time every time. Couldn't live there personally. And I've lived in Texas and I've lived in Florida for like 3-4 months at a time. Probably say Texas is probably my favorite.
Would you go Austin, Dallas?
Dallas, yeah. I lived with Preston for a little bit.
You like Dallas more than LA? Man. And don't let Hector hear this. Don't let Hector hear any of this, bro, because he loves Dallas.
Yeah.
Nah, it actually is actually
You've
good.
been to Chicago?
I actually love Chicago too.
Ooh, there we go. All right, man of
Matt's
culture.
from.
Yeah, no, I went there for Pokemon Go's first Pokemon Go Fest. It was an absolute shit show.
Did you flick the bean?
Yeah, I did go to the bean.
There you go, nice.
On my Instagram.
Nice.
And you flicked it, right?
I didn't flick it.
You didn't flick it, bro? That's the first thing I did, dude. You gotta flick the bean. You're not from Chicago if you don't flick the bean.
This isn't gaming related, but this is actually breaking news of today. Now with both of you guys beans, no, but with what both of you guys are now doing, obviously with 100 Thieves in Power, Kanye West and Gap struck a 10-year deal on Kanye West's clothing line and Yeezy and all of those things. And I haven't even gotten to, read fully into it. I don't know if there's figures out there of how much it's worth.
What's Gap? I'm not too familiar with what Gap is.
From my perspective, Gap is a store in the US that you like shopped at as a kid. It was never your first choice. Your family kind of brought you there. And it was never like, oh, I got to get clothes. Let me head to Gap. But for me, this comes off as like Gap is trying to make a statement to change the image of their brand. And it's all centered around Yeezy and Kanye as being the frontal force.
Well, I saw a tweet just for a little bit of backstory. So, apparently, Kanye West all he could afford was Gap. And then he worked at Gap while he was in high school or something. And then he used to rap about Gap as well. So, yeah, I think it's he's definitely had history with the brand and coming up in Chicago, with not a ton of money. I bet Gap was probably the one thing that he thought was dope that he could afford. Yeah, I think Jack's representation of Gap. So this might not be right, but like when I see Gap, I think of like mall stores like Hollister, Aristotle, American Eagle, and then I think of Gap.
Aristotle. You said Aristotle. Really? Homie, that fool Aristotle was looking at the moon and shit.
Motherfucker made a telescope or something. Hey, bro, leave me alone. I'll never get this. And maybe you guys can relate to this. I still see people like in their younger 20s from the UK wear Hollister. And I'm like, motherfucker, what are you doing?
Yeah, these are Hollister. It's just
you know what Hollister is? You've been in the UK a bunch.
For a lot of it is like it's
what high school kids wear. It's what high school kids wear and back when I was in high school, they thought American Eagle and Hollister was cool. But nobody else beyond that. But like 20-year-olds come over from the UK and wear Hollister.
Just to bring up a point, today Gap as a company closed in the market up 19%. Their stock went up 19% today after the news of Kanye and them striking this deal. So it just goes to show how much of an influence that can have.
How does the stock market work? So say Kanye West, he knew this announcement was going to be made.
That's insider trading. That's illegal.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that happens so much. I feel like so many people do that, right? Like, hey, Yeezy's gonna do a collab with Gap tomorrow, pass it along 5 times, and then someone's just, I donated $1 million to Gap yesterday just because I really like their clothes. Oh, Yeezy, sick. Like, that's gonna happen a lot more than it does for sure.
No, that is very illegal to insider trade in the stock market and do that.
I know what insider trading is. I just wouldn't know. Like, I mean, is it I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I just got questions. I got questions. I just see so many people talking about day trading. I want to learn more about it.
It's time to dive in, huh?
Yeah, I know that. Like, if I put $10 million and it went up 19%, and then I wanted to sell it the next day, I know I'd have to pay like short-term capital gains and all this other shit. But it's neither here or there. Lachlan, what are you most excited about for the future of Fortnite, and where do you think the game should go? Obviously, we just got a new season. Things have changed. You said you're enjoying it still. What needs to change for Fortnite for all these people to come back? And do you think it's possible for everyone to come back?
Oh, that's such a hard question, and I want to act like I know what the answer is, but I actually don't. Like, there's so much. Like, I actually feel like Epic is making every right decision. Like, they've got the data. Like, skill-based matchmaking happened. Might have pissed off content creators, but I'm sure the first time like audience retention of a new player went up when they added it. Yeah. So, like, and I've also like kind of conflicted as well because I play on OCE. And lately, I've just been playing like 1 to 2 a.m. or 1 to 5 a.m. every night. And I've been getting bots. So I've been actually just having a sick time.
Dude, so many bots in some of these games.
Oh, dude, you should see. I dropped the 20 bomb like the day of a release, and that never happens. Like, yeah. It's actually so good. But I don't know. I feel like I want to see like a Fortnite survival genre. Like, think Minecraft, but Fortnite world. I think something like that could really stir up a wave. I'd love to see that in the next couple of years. But I think they're doing a lot of things right. I don't know. Jack, what would you say?
Listen,
because
my thing right now,
everyone wants different things. And like, that's the other thing like, I've just learned to understand is that I don't know.
I think they did a lot of
Fortnite needs to turn into Minecraft. Fortnite needs to turn into Minecraft.
I think they're trying.
I guess I'm saying that.
Like, I think that they're doing a lot of things right with this new season. Like tonight in 2 hours, you can watch Inception in the game, which is kind of a really cool thing. And they're doing more and more of those little events to keep people entertained and involved. The new season added so much for content, added so much stuff in general. I think the thing that I'm struggling to come to terms with right now is that, do I still enjoy Fortnite? Yes, but in very little stints. But I wish I could still play the game like you guys do. And maybe I could. I think what would help me more is if I got back into it and really grinded it to get my skill back up to where it once was. It would also help, I think, a lot if I began to grind it more to where my consistent Fortnite audience would know they could tune in every day, and it would then perform better in my streams and then my videos. So I think if like I got my skill back by playing more and was more consistent with playing Fortnite, and then more people wanted to watch because of it, getting the extra eyes on my channel would incentivize me and push me to play it more. But I don't love the game like I used to. I used to be able to wake up and I was excited to play Fortnite every single day for 8 to 10 hours a day for a year and a half. And I got 3,000 wins and I won money. I did creative things. I played with all sorts of people. I did random duos. I did death runs. I casted the biggest event in the world. And I'm now at a point where I'm just like, well, shit,
what's there left to do?
I'm just kind of, and I think that's, I think I struggle with that as a person because that's my whole career as well.
That's just a natural life cycle of games. Like for so long, people didn't think Fortnite it wasn't untouchable from this syndrome that happens. But listen, there's only so much you can change in a game to get people still to be excited about it. Yeah, you could add new features, but as soon as you fall back into the same slump that you have with like skill-based matchmaking and having to try too hard to win these matches, it's the life cycle of every battle royale we have ever seen. And the same thing will most likely happen in Warzone one day. There's no avoiding it unless you somehow make tweaks to skill-based matchmaking. And this is a topic that I can talk about in greater detail. So I don't want to sound like I'm generalizing and saying every game eventually dies, but I just think it's not physically and mentally sustainable to play a game 10 hours a day unless it's for 3 years straight, unless it's like World of Warcraft. And even then they need new expansions too, right? Like you can't just do the same shit over and over.
No, very true.
All right, now really quickly, I want to circle back to what we talked about at the beginning. And this might not be directly sent your way, Lachlan, but I would just like to be clear is that we brought up the DrDisrespect allegations or, the speculation on what could be happening before the news has broke, before we hear what actually happened and why DrDisrespect got banned. I want to be clear that I consider DrDisrespect a friend, not DrDisrespect necessarily, but Guy Beam. That's who I've known him for a long time. I met him back in like 2011 or 2010, and him and I have only ever had positive interactions. So I hope what has happened to him or what the reason for him being banned is nothing serious and everything gets cleared up. But I just wanted to speak my piece before, because I'm not trying to rile up, or kick up dirt and rile up feathers. Obviously, viewership is important, and we want people to come here to watch and to hear about the latest happenings and everything that's going on in the world. But I just want, if Doc ever were to watch this, I don't want you to think I'm just like throwing you under the bus, Doc. Consider your friend, man. I hope things get better for you, and hopefully this isn't too serious.
I echo all those sentiments, and what I'll say is this. Lachlan, I would beat you one-on-one in Fortnite in my peak for $10,000.
Wait, what? Is that an offer?
If I got back into it, I would whoop that ass all across the Australian coast.
Well, we gotta wait till COVID, so you got a hot minute to like get back on there.
I haven't actually ever been to Australia, and I really want to go. My girlfriend's been once, and she loved it. She went to Melbourne. But
Melbourne.
It's Melbourne, right? Melbourne. I said it with the accent.
Who's
I want to
the
go.
fucking idiot
Would
now
you guys,
that doesn't know
would
how to
you
pronounce
guys-
words?
Oh shit. Would you guys show me a good time if I came down and visited? Matt's not invited.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm like kind of segregated from the main Aussie fam. They're all in Sydney. I'm kind of YOLOing it up in Brisbane. But yeah, hell yeah. Show a good time. We show a good time to everybody that comes down. But you know what? The amount. Oh, this is what I actually want to talk about. The amount of people. I'm glad you brought this up. Is that like I've got like I'd say 50 YouTubers that I'm like decently good friends with, like all international, maybe like 5 or 10 of them Australian. The amount of times I've heard, yo, we're gonna come down to Australia one day. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on the whole list. I'm waiting on the whole list.
Here's the thing, bro. I move different. I move different. Okay?
You move different?
And Matt
No
knows.
one's doing nothing right now because of COVID, but like,
Yeah, but trust
I
me.
ain't throwing names out, but everyone always says, yeah, man, we're gonna come to Australia like next year, and then like next year comes.
Hey, let's do a shoe together, man.
Hey, let's do.
Wait, I was
a bunch of Aussies, don't you?
We had Aussies and New Zealanders. I don't know if that's how you say that, but I was supposed to come to Australia this August for the major, the CS:GO major that was happening, and it was going to be bonkers because the majority of our team is from Australia, but obviously COVID, fucked that up. So I don't know if I'll ever make it there. But now I can fly. I never thought that I'd end up going to that event because I'm terrified of flying, but my doctor prescribed me Xanax, and I love flying now. So
that's it. That's all it took.
Yeah, I actually from my experience of flying, I actually find the short flights like kind of like scary and more uncomfortable. Like the long flights, 12-hour flights, easy.
Hey, Alex, can you zoom in on my face real quick? Put me up there. That's Cap.
He goes, Cap.
That's
No. Dude, the worst flight that you can take is a 4 to 6 hour flight across the coast of America. Hate that. That's my least favorite flight.
No. I agree. I actually agree.
Because the plane sucks.
And it's 5-6 hours. It's not enough to sleep, but it's too much to chill for 2 hours. Like it's the worst.
Maddie will totally agree with this, and I do too. I don't like
Maddie,
that flight
by
at
the
all.
way.
Yeah, sorry, my girlfriend. Yo, Lachlan, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. This has been such a damn blast, brother. I know. There has been a lot to talk about, a lot of drama, and just all sorts of shit happening. Wait, what, Matt?
Last thing I wanted to ask before we go, Lachlan.
All right.
How much fucking money do you have? How much money?
He's asked Scooter Brawl this. He's asked everybody.
I think the majority of people that have come on our podcast, just scratch
you
this
go
itch for
first.
me.
Is it a lot? You go first. He said.
I'll tell you.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
I consider the amount of money that I have, comparatively speaking, a lot. But it's not a lot compared to other people.
Like me comparing,
if I compare this 2020 Matthew Hague to McDonald's Matthew Hague, it's a fucking lot. But if you compare me to someone like Scooter Braun, it is not a lot. So
perspective.
So where would you say between Scooter Braun rich to McDonald's Nadeshot rich? Where do you think you land somewhere?
I don't even know how much Scooter Braun got.
He got a lot.
But he got a lot. I'm I don't know. I don't really focus. Like I
You don't
I mean,
have
it's
to
so
answer, bro.
cliche.
I'm just busting your balls now. I'm just busting your balls.
No, because I saw the one you did with the other boys. I think it was Vic. He asked the same question. Like he's gonna do the same shit, isn't he?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, man,
100%.
every YouTuber, rightfully so, stays on top of the fence and doesn't want to lean one way or the other. I'm just waiting for someone to come out and say, yeah, this is how much fucking money I got. Somebody's going to answer.
Give me 5 years, and I think I'll be at that level. I feel like
No,
every
shit, I like
year
that.
you get like a little bit more, like just like a little
Reckless?
bit more less fucks to give. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like every year you go. Give me 5 years, I think I'll come back and I'll
Hey,
just
bro.
be like, hey.
I'm sending a reminder right now.
Good.
Hey, Siri, remind me to schedule Lachlan on the podcast 5 years from now today to talk about his net worth.
Wow. Please, Cash App, keep sponsoring us till then. Lachlan,
Got it. Got it.
thank you again, brother, for being on the show. If you guys
Thanks
have
for coming
not
on, man.
subbed to Lachlan, first off, I don't know how that's even possible. Go follow all social channels down below. Check out Team Power, whatever he's doing down there. And if you're in the Oceanic region, get better at damn Fortnite. So when he hosts more tournaments, you guys do better. I think that's it. Lachlan, any final words before we roll through the outro?
No. Like, thanks for having me, boys. It's been a good time, and yeah, looking forward to catching up after COVID rightfully goes away.
Absolutely,
For sure.
bro. Drinks on us. All right, man. Thanks for coming on, brother. We'll talk to
Thanks,
you later.
Lachlan. Have a good one, guys. Like the video, sub to the channel. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.